Have you been drinking the one type of coffee that silently damages your brain every single morning without knowing it? Right now, millions of Americans over 60 are sipping their favorite brew, completely unaware that certain types of coffee strain the heart and brain far more than they help. The difference between a safe cup and a dangerous one isn't always obvious, and that's exactly why this conversation could save your life. Stroke ranks as the 5th leading cause of death in the United States, affecting nearly 800,000 people every single year. Think about how many of those devastating cases could have been prevented if people understood which coffees genuinely protect the brain and which ones quietly elevate blood pressure and cholesterol to dangerous levels. The truth is, not all coffee is created equal. Before we dive deeper, let me ask you something important. Do you drink coffee every single day? Or are you more of an occasional drinker? Comment with a simple 1 if you can't go a day without your coffee, or 0 if it's just an occasional treat. Here's my promise to you. We read and respond to every single comment because your story might help someone else avoid a dangerous mistake. If you find this kind of life-saving information valuable, I'd love for you to join our SeniorForge 365 community. Just tap the subscribe button so you don't miss future videos that could protect not only your health, but also the well-being of your loved ones. Are you ready? Because in just a moment, I'll reveal 5 types of coffee that quietly increase your stroke risk and 5 powerful varieties that actually protect your brain and heart. 1. Unfiltered coffee. Unfiltered coffee includes elegant brewing methods like French press and traditional Turkish coffee. These drinks feel rich, bold, and almost luxurious on your tongue. But here's what most people don't realize. When coffee is brewed without a paper filter, it retains certain natural oils called Cafestol and Kahweol. These compounds may sound harmless, but inside your cardiovascular system, they function like silent saboteurs, steadily pushing LDL cholesterol higher and making your blood vessels increasingly vulnerable to dangerous plaque accumulation. Over months and years, this relentless pressure can lead your brain to face a catastrophic event it was never prepared to handle. I remember Mr. Allen, a retired teacher in his early 70s, who cherished his morning French press ritual. He believed it was healthier because the brewing process felt natural and authentic. But after years of enjoying 3 to 4 cups daily, his physician discovered alarming changes in his cardiovascular health markers. What had felt like a harmless daily pleasure had gradually transformed into a hidden medical risk. With careful guidance, he transitioned to a different brewing method. Within just a few months, his follow-up examinations showed remarkable improvement. So, what's the safer alternative? A simple paper filter. That thin, unassuming sheet captures most of those harmful oils while still allowing the comforting flavor and beneficial compounds to pass through. It's a small adjustment, but one that could mean protecting your heart and brain with every single morning cup. And, speaking of adjustments, the next type of coffee might surprise you even more because it's often marketed as premium fuel for your day. 2. Bulletproof coffee. Bulletproof coffee represents a trend that exploded across social media in recent years. This beverage combines brewed coffee with grass-fed butter and MCT oil derived from coconuts. At first glance, the concept sounds innovative. Combine caffeine with specific fats that supposedly deliver steady, sustained energy. Countless people online praise it for enhanced focus and accelerated weight loss. But here's the medical truth most enthusiasts never consider. Butter and coconut-derived oils contain extraordinarily high levels of saturated fat. That means every single sip isn't just warming your body, it's also creating dangerous congestion inside your arteries. Instead of helping your brain perform at peak levels, this popular drink can quietly strain your cardiovascular system and dramatically increase the very health risks you're trying to avoid. I think of Sarah, a 65-year-old grandmother who began each morning with bulletproof coffee because her favorite health podcast insisted it was the secret to maintaining youthfulness. Within just 1 year, her physician noticed her cholesterol levels climbing in ways they never had before. She wasn't consuming fast food or sugary desserts regularly. Her supposedly healthy morning drink was causing the damage. When she switched back to a lighter cup of plain black coffee paired with a nutritionally balanced breakfast, her energy levels returned completely without the hidden cost to her arterial health. So, what's the smarter choice? If you genuinely crave a creamy texture in your coffee, try adding a modest splash of unsweetened oat milk or almond milk instead. These plant-based options create that smooth, satisfying mouthfeel without flooding your cardiovascular system with dangerous, saturated fats. And while bulletproof coffee might sound like a niche trend, the next category of coffee is far more common, appearing on every coffee shop menu nationwide, and it's loaded with sugar in ways that silently put your brain at serious risk. 3. Sweet, creamy coffees. Let's step into the world of indulgent, dessert-like coffee drinks. The caramel macchiatos, chocolate mochas, vanilla frappuccinos topped with mountains of whipped cream. They taste absolutely delicious, like dessert in a convenient cup. And that's precisely the medical problem. Behind that irresistible flavor hides a massive dose of refined sugar and unhealthy fats. Each sip sends your blood glucose on a dangerous roller coaster ride, forcing your pancreas to pump out excessive insulin. Over time, this constant metabolic surge leads directly to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and chronic high blood pressure, all of which quietly establish the perfect conditions for a devastating stroke. It feels completely harmless in the moment of enjoyment, but your brain and cardiovascular system pay an enormous price later. I remember John, a cheerful 62-year-old man who treated himself to a large mocha every single afternoon. He thought of it as a harmless little pick-me-up, nothing more serious than that. But after several years of this daily habit, his physician diagnosed him with type 2 diabetes. John was absolutely shocked by the news. He didn't eat candy bars or cake every day, so he never suspected his afternoon coffee treat was the actual culprit, destroying his metabolic health. Once he eliminated those sugary drinks and switched to unsweetened cold brew with just a light sprinkle of cinnamon, his blood sugar levels stabilized completely, and he felt more genuinely energetic than he had experienced in years. If you crave rich flavor without the medical danger, there are incredibly easy alternatives. Sprinkle ground cinnamon, unsweetened cocoa powder, or even a single drop of pure vanilla extract into your black coffee. You'll still get that cozy, satisfying cafe experience without the devastating sugar crash that follows. And if you think sweet coffee drinks carry risks, wait until you hear about the next category. Beverages loaded with so much caffeine, they can overwhelm even a perfectly healthy heart. 4. Excessive caffeine coffee drinks. Some people genuinely believe that if 1 cup of coffee delivers benefits, then 3 or 4 cups must deliver even greater benefits. But when it comes to caffeine consumption, more is definitely not always safer or better. In fact, beverages like concentrated cold brew, multiple double espresso shots, or canned energy coffees can pack far more caffeine than the human body is designed to handle in a single sitting. Instead of providing you with steady, sustainable energy throughout the day, that massive caffeine overload can push your blood pressure dangerously high, constrict your blood vessels unnaturally, and trigger irregular, frightening heartbeats. For your brain, this sudden cardiovascular storm creates the perfect environmental conditions for a stroke to strike without any warning signs. Take Michael, a 58-year-old long-haul truck driver who relied heavily on high-caffeine energy coffees to stay alert during extended driving shifts. He genuinely thought these drinks were simply helping him maintain necessary alertness and safety. But after several weeks of heavy, consistent use, he began experiencing severe pounding headaches and episodes of dizziness that terrified him. His physician explained that the problem wasn't merely fatigue or lack of sleep. It was the extreme caffeine load continuously straining his entire cardiovascular system. When he cut back to a single moderate cup in the morning and replaced energy drinks with plain water throughout the day, his alarming symptoms disappeared completely, and he finally felt steady and stable again. So, what can you do if you genuinely love coffee but want to stay medically safe? Aim for moderation as your guiding principle. 1 to 2 regular cups per day is usually perfectly fine for most healthy adults. And if you crave an energy boost in the afternoon hours, try standing up and stretching your legs or drinking a tall glass of ice-cold water instead. It's remarkable how much your body naturally perks up without exposing yourself to hidden cardiovascular risks. 5. Coffee, combined with severe high blood pressure. While excessive caffeine poses risks for most people, the next situation is even more medically concerning. When coffee consumption and severe high blood pressure collide. For most individuals with normal blood pressure, a cup or two of coffee typically won't cause serious medical trouble. But if someone is already living with severe, poorly controlled hypertension, consuming too much coffee transforms into a genuinely dangerous gamble with their health. Caffeine acts like a powerful spark in the body, causing blood vessels to constrict tightly and blood pressure to rise even higher than its already dangerous baseline. When the heart is already struggling to push blood against that tremendous resistance, it's like adding more weight to a bridge that's already structurally cracked and failing. One strong gust of pressure and the entire system may catastrophically give way, sometimes manifesting as a sudden, devastating stroke. I think of Linda, a 70-year-old grandmother who had lived with diagnosed hypertension for many years. Her doctors repeatedly advised her to strictly limit her caffeine consumption, but she deeply loved her coffee and frequently drank 3 to 4 cups throughout each day. One particular morning, she felt her chest pounding violently and her vision blurring frightfully. That terrifying scare landed her in the emergency room immediately. Thankfully, she hadn't suffered a full stroke, but her cardiologist made it absolutely clear. If she wanted to stay safe and avoid catastrophe, she needed to cut back drastically and immediately. Linda switched to just 1 small cup in the morning and began choosing calming herbal tea in the afternoon instead. Her blood pressure readings soon became noticeably steadier and more predictable, and she finally felt genuinely in control of her health again. The safer path for anyone managing high blood pressure is to keep coffee intake absolutely minimal and replace extra cups with gentle alternatives like high-quality decaf or soothing herbal teas. This small but crucial adjustment not only protects the heart directly, but also helps prevent sudden, dangerous spikes that could put the brain in immediate jeopardy. Now that we've explored the risky side of coffee thoroughly, let's shift gears to the genuinely good news. There are specific types of coffee that actually help protect both your precious brain and your hardworking heart. Not all coffee is medically harmful. In fact, the way you prepare and consume it can make an absolutely huge difference in your long-term health outcomes. 1. Paper-filtered coffee. When coffee is carefully brewed through a paper filter, such as in a standard drip coffee machine, something truly remarkable happens at the molecular level. The paper filter quietly traps and removes most of those natural oils that elevate LDL cholesterol, leaving you with all the comforting flavor and beneficial antioxidants, but without the hidden compounds that gradually harm your arteries over time. It's a beautifully simple step that transforms an everyday beverage into a genuinely safer ally for both your cardiovascular and neurological health. I recall Mr. Davis, a 7-year-old retired firefighter who used to enjoy traditional Turkish coffee every single morning. His physician suggested making the switch to paper-filtered drip coffee. At first, he worried it wouldn't taste remotely the same. But after just a few weeks of adjustment, not only did he genuinely grow to enjoy the lighter, smoother flavor profile, his cholesterol readings began improving noticeably. For Mr. Davis, the switch wasn't about sacrificing something he loved. It was about gaining invaluable peace of mind and actively protecting the health he had worked so hard to maintain throughout his life. If you want to preserve the richness and ritual of coffee while significantly lowering cardiovascular risks, this represents one of the easiest, most practical habits to adopt immediately. Simply brew your coffee with a paper filter, and you'll retain most of the health benefits while dramatically reducing the burden on your arteries. It's a small, almost invisible change in your daily routine, but over months and years, those small, consistent choices genuinely add up to major health protection. And speaking of small changes with big impacts, the next type of coffee demonstrates how even just 1 modest cup per day can offer powerful protective benefits without overwhelming your body's systems. 2. Moderate black coffee. There's a profound truth about coffee that many people overlook. Sometimes, less really is significantly more beneficial. A single cup of plain black coffee, enjoyed without added sugar or cream, can actually provide genuine protection for your brain and heart. Black coffee is naturally rich in powerful antioxidants, those tiny molecular defenders that actively help reduce systemic inflammation and improve blood circulation throughout your entire body. When enjoyed in true moderation, approximately 1 cup daily, it can gently support optimal brain function and help keep blood vessels noticeably more flexible and responsive. The absolute key is achieving and maintaining balance. Excessive caffeine strains the cardiovascular system unnecessarily, but a modest, controlled amount works like a steady, reliable friend rather than a pushy, demanding intruder. I think of Robert, a 4-year-old former auto mechanic who used to drink coffee continuously all day long while working at the shop. After retiring, he noticed his heart would race uncomfortably in the evenings, and he struggled significantly with falling asleep. His physician suggested scaling back to just 1 cup in the morning, completely plain and unsweetened. At first, Robert genuinely missed the sweetness and frequency. But within just a few weeks, he felt noticeably calmer, slept substantially better, and still thoroughly enjoyed the comforting ritual of his morning mug. That small change didn't take away his joy and satisfaction. It actually gave it back completely. If you're someone who genuinely loves the warmth and ritual of coffee but worries constantly about health implications, the simplest path forward is to pour yourself 1 modest cup, savor it slowly and mindfully, and then allow your body to rest. Try adding a generous sprinkle of ground cinnamon or nutmeg for natural flavor enhancement instead of processed sugar. You'll preserve the ritual you love while eliminating the components that cause medical harm. And as you'll discover next, even for those individuals who absolutely need to avoid caffeine altogether, coffee can still offer genuinely surprising benefits. 3. Decaf coffee. Many people mistakenly think that once caffeine is removed from coffee, the beverage loses its entire purpose and value. But that's absolutely not the complete story. High-quality decaf still contains valuable bioactive compounds like polyphenols, which actively help protect blood vessels from damage and significantly reduce dangerous systemic inflammation. For older adults who are particularly sensitive to caffeine's effects, those who notice heart palpitations, severely disrupted sleep, or sudden spikes in blood pressure, decaf provides all the comfort of a warm, satisfying cup without the cardiovascular overstimulation. It's an effective way of preserving the beloved ritual alive while allowing the body to rest far easier. Take Helen, a 1-year-old retired nurse who absolutely adored her morning coffee, but struggled terribly with restless nights and a frequently racing heart. Her physician strongly suggested switching to decaffeinated coffee. At first, she worried deeply it would taste completely flat and disappointing. But after discovering a genuinely good dark roast decaf option, she realized with pleasant surprise that the flavor was nearly identical to her usual brew. The meaningful difference? Her sleep quality improved dramatically, her heart no longer raced unpredictably, and she still thoroughly enjoyed her cherished morning routine. Helen often says she feels like she successfully gained back both her beloved coffee and her inner peace simultaneously. For anyone curious about trying decaf, choose high-quality options that use safe, chemical-free methods to remove caffeine, such as the Swiss water process. Pair it thoughtfully with your favorite breakfast or enjoy it as a relaxing evening ritual without any worry about staying awake all night long. Decaf coffee proves conclusively that coffee doesn't have to come with a significant cost to your health and well-being. And if you think decaf represents a compromise or sacrifice, wait until you hear how the deeper, bolder dimension of coffee, specifically dark roast, can bring genuinely unexpected protection directly to your brain. 4. Dark roast coffee. When coffee beans are roasted significantly longer and darker, something absolutely fascinating happens inside them at the molecular level. The sustained heat creates specific compounds called Phenylindanes, which medical researchers have discovered may actively help prevent harmful proteins in the brain from clumping together destructively. These problematic proteins, specifically amyloid beta and tau, are directly linked to devastating neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. In other words, the bold, robust flavor of dark roast doesn't merely warm you up pleasantly. It may quietly guard your precious brain from age-related cognitive decline over the long term. I remember James, a 8-year-old retired professional musician who loved experimenting enthusiastically with different coffee brews. For many years, he firmly believed light roast was healthier because it felt more natural and less processed. But after learning about the remarkable protective benefits of dark roast, he decided to give it a genuine try. The deeper, smokier flavor profile soon became his absolute favorite. Months later, he enthusiastically shared how his memory felt noticeably sharper, and he enjoyed the daily ritual even more profoundly, knowing that each cup might be offering genuine protection for his cognitive future. For those who want to enjoy this significant benefit, choose a high-quality dark roast and brew it simply, without adding heavy cream or excessive sugar that could completely cancel out the positive effects. Pair it thoughtfully with a nutritionally balanced breakfast, and let the rich, complex taste remind you that sometimes the stronger, bolder path is also the medically wiser one. And speaking of strength and boldness, our final type of protective coffee may genuinely surprise you. It isn't roasted dark at all. In fact, it stays remarkably light and green, offering a completely different kind of support for your heart and blood vessels. 5. Light roast and green coffee. While dark roast brings boldness and depth, light roast coffee and even completely unroasted green coffee beans carry a distinctly different kind of nutritional strength. These lighter brews hold on to significantly higher levels of chlorogenic acid, a powerful natural antioxidant that actively supports lower blood pressure and healthier blood sugar balance. For both the brain and heart, this means genuine protection over the long run, like carefully laying a steady, reliable foundation that reduces the overall chance of stroke as the years progress naturally. The flavor profile is noticeably gentler, sometimes even slightly tangy or acidic, but the health benefits run extraordinarily deep. I think of Margaret, a 6-year-old librarian who struggled with borderline high blood pressure. She wasn't ready for prescription medication and genuinely wanted to explore gentler lifestyle modifications first. Her physician suggested trying green coffee extract as part of her daily routine. Within just a few months, Margaret saw her blood pressure numbers improve substantially, and she felt noticeably more energetic throughout each day. She still thoroughly enjoyed her cherished morning ritual, but now took genuine comfort knowing her coffee choice was also actively working to keep her blood vessels healthy and resilient. If you're curious about trying this approach, you don't have to completely give up your favorite brew. Simply rotate in a lighter roast or try a cup of green coffee extract a few times weekly. Many specialty coffee shops now offer green coffee options, and lighter roasts are increasingly widely available everywhere. It's a relatively small shift in taste preference, but over months and years, it may bring genuinely lasting support for both your cardiovascular and neurological health. And now that we've explored both the risky and the beneficial sides of coffee thoroughly, let's bring everything together with a warm, practical conclusion you can carry into your daily life starting immediately. Today, you've discovered that coffee is far more than just a simple morning habit or comfort ritual. It can function as either a hidden health risk or a quiet protective ally, depending entirely on how it's prepared and how much you consume. From unfiltered brews and buttery concoctions that strain the heart unnecessarily, to paper-filtered cups and gentle decaf that bring comfort without medical harm, every single choice you make shapes the future health of your brain and blood vessels. This isn't about giving up something you genuinely love. It's about choosing wisely and intentionally so that each sip actively adds to your health instead of gradually taking away from it. If there's one essential lesson to carry forward, it's this profound truth. Overall lifestyle always outweighs any single food or drink. The way you balance quality sleep, regular movement, and stress management matters even more significantly than whether you drink dark roast or green coffee. But when small daily rituals and choices can tip the health scale meaningfully, why not let them tip it decisively toward protection and strength? I'd genuinely love to hear from you. Has coffee ever affected your sleep quality, your blood pressure readings, or your energy levels in ways you didn't expect or understand? Share your personal story in the comments below. Your experience could inspire and help someone else make a healthier, more informed choice. And remember, we read and respond thoughtfully to every single comment. If you found this video genuinely helpful and valuable, please give it a like, subscribe to SeniorForge 365, and check out our other videos for more practical, actionable tips to keep your heart and brain strong and healthy. Until next time, take exceptionally good care of yourself, and may your next cup be one that truly supports your health and longevity.